Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, She Plans, She Budgets. In today's video, we'll be going over my weekly check-in number 4, so let's get started. All right, we're opened up to my January monthly calendar view. This is the spread. We did weeks 1, 2, and 3 so far. We are now going to check in for week 4 from Sunday the 21st through Saturday the 27th. I like to just go straight from Sunday through Saturday for my weekly check-ins. Then on the right hand side here, we have my key legend for all of my 6 categories for cash envelopes, my sinking funds, and we also keep track of my unbudgeted expenses. For my 6 cash envelopes, we have gasoline, groceries, household spending, eating out, and entertainment. As you can see, I did some spending for my spending category, eating out and entertainment. That's why I got them X'd out, because I spent all that could be spent for this month. I will have to do the same thing for my groceries category as well as my household category, and you'll see those numbers in a minute. So the only cash envelope I have remaining in play is gasoline, and then I still have my sinking funds to work with for the rest of this month. And technically unbudgeted, but I'm going to X that out because I'm not going to make any more unbudgeted expenses. I just gotta stay strong on that for the rest of this month. Today is the 29th, so we technically only have, just these three days left, and I'm sure I can make it to February without spending anything out of this category, because we will be resetting the budget starting February 1st. So if you haven't seen my monthly budget for the month of February, feel free to check out my last 2 videos where I go over the calendar view setup for February and go over my monthly budget for February. So check out those 2 videos if you haven't seen them already. All right, so let's go ahead and just jump right in. I have my expenses already written out, and there wasn't many, mostly because I realized in week 3 that I really overspent the budget for January, and then also is because I overspent the budget, so there's not much more money to spend. So my transactions are very little for week 4. But starting with groceries, I did go grocery shopping on the 23rd at H-E-B, and I spent a total of $109.99. And again, that was on the 23rd. And then also on the 23rd, I spent $15.22 at H-E-B again, and that was out of my household category, just to pick up a few items. Okay, and that also happened on the 23rd. And then I had 2 sinking fund transactions, one on the 22nd out of my car maintenance fund, and that was for $2.50 to put some air in my tires. It's really time for me to just go ahead and buy new tires, 2 new tires. I think it's my rear tires this time, because we got the front tires changed out, I believe last year, like in August or sometime. But we're currently saving our car maintenance because, tires aren't cheap. I don't want to purchase 4 new tires because, again, the front tires are basically brand new. And I don't know if I'm actually running into if I'm actually catching flats, or not flats, but like holes where the air pressure is coming out, or if there's something wrong with the rim or something, because tires are supposed to last you for a few years. They're not supposed to be changed out every 6 months or whatever. But we did notice that it's not the front ones we just replaced, it's the back tires. So, and it's one of the tires, but as a good method of car maintenance, don't change 1 tire, change at least 2 if you don't do all 4, just for the thread count and different reasons like that, just so your cars stay balanced. So it's a little upsetting, just because it's like, dang, I just changed the tires. So I've been just basically getting my tires filled up with air, just to last me a little longer. That's been working so far. I'm sure that's not going to last forever, but I'm going to try to push it out just so I can have enough money to buy 2 new tires, and get some other car maintenance done, just to make sure my car is good to go. Because again, we are saving for a new car, but this is the car we currently have is the one we have, so we got to make it last until we get the new car. And I'm hoping it will last beyond the new car, because we would like to have 2 cars. But if it can make it until we at least get the new car, I'll be happy with that. But the hope is that it will just last, you know, so that we can have 2 cars and get around and whatnot. My last sinking fund is out of self-care for $28.05, and that was spent on the 23rd as well, out of sinking funds. Okay, so that means every other day was a no spend day, and I would love to give myself some major credit for like not spending 5 days out in 1 week, but to be realistic, that's just because I didn't have the money to spend. So, but I'll give myself credit for not overspending, at least not continuing to do that once I realized how bad I was doing in week 3. So, I guess I can get a little kudos there. But I just think it's so funny for the weeks when I have a lot of no spend days in 1 week, and it just looks like, oh, she's doing so well with her budget, and it was like, no, she's just out of money. So I didn't have no money to spend. That's why I have a no spend day. Just as a little jokey joke. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 no spend days for week 4, and I just had these 4 transactions. So we're just gonna go ahead and flip over to the next page. This is my monthly budget. I don't have any bills to track just because there was none due in week 4. So we're going to skip over this section. This is where I keep track of my expense logs for the 6 cash envelopes. So out of this week 3, we only had the 2 for groceries and HEB. Groceries and household at HEB. This was gasoline that I filled up in week 4 on the 23rd. Week 5 on the 28th. Excuse me. Gasoline was filled up on the 28th in week 5, so that'll be in my next weekly check-in, and the last one for the month. And just to say here, this $39.70 was the gasoline that I filled up on the 20th of January. It did not come out. It still hasn't even show as pending. So I'm actually going to mark this in a red X to show like I didn't pay. Well, I technically did pay for it. I just didn't get charged for it. Just to show that I'm not doing a transfer for it, and I left it highlighted in yellow. So when I do my final calculation at the end of the month, I won't include that number because it didn't get charged. So I didn't make the transfer. But I did, I do need to make a transfer for these 2 numbers, and I will check these off after we do our calculations because I didn't make the transfer as of yet, so we will need to do that today. All right, so now for the weekly check-in. So flipping back to the calendar for week 4, we only spent money out of groceries and household, and these 2 are tracked in my sinking fund spread, so we don't need to worry about those 2. So just groceries and household. So groceries was $109 with 99 cents, and household was $15.22 spent. For gasoline, I do want to show adding money here. I want to show this $39.70 being added back because I did go ahead and subtract it in week 3, anticipating that it was going to come out because I figured it was just a glitch because of the storm or the weather from that week. But it's been over a week and it's not even pending. It never came out. So I'm just going to put that money back, like as far as the weekly check-in is concerned, just so my numbers can add up and show that that money is there. So $39.70 I'm going to just show as being added back to this category. I didn't spend anything in any other category, so I'm just going to cross all that off. So let me go ahead and calculate the remaining. So for gasoline, I had $81 with 98 cents. I'm going to add in that $39.70 because it was never taken out. So that means I should have $121.68. Alrighty, and I will have a lot of money left over because, as we know, I did spend some money for week 5. But we'll talk about that in the next check-in. All right, so for groceries. So groceries, I had $58.61 remaining from week 3. Week 4, I spent $109 with 99 cents. So that means I am negative by $53 or $51 with 38 cents. And I'll most likely use some of this leftover gasoline money to make up for that when I do my final calculations for the budget closeout. So that's how I'll work out the negative numbers. Whatever is left over in the positive from the cash envelopes will just take care of the cash envelopes that went over for the month. So as long as my overall balance for my cash envelopes category is equal to or less than $15.50, then I would consider it good. But if I'm over the $15.50, then it's not good. All right, so for household, last week or week 3, I had $88.37. Week 4, I spent $15.22. So I had $73.15 remaining. All right, so, and I think that's why I decided to cross off household because, right here, because I do buy groceries and household together mostly. So I think I just used this remaining to make up for that. That's probably what I did. All right, and then for personal spending, I didn't spend anything. So I'm still at negative $6.37. For eating out, I didn't spend anything, so I'm still at negative $15.28. Let me write that a little better. All right, and then for entertainment, I'm thankfully not negative, but I am at 0, so I'm just going to cross that. And then for unbudgeted, I didn't spend anything, but I am still at negative $156. And my plan to make up for that is to add some money from paycheck number 3. I'm just going to add the $156 that I'm over by. All right, so this is what week 4 is looking like. So let me just total what was spent for the month, for the week. So $109.99 plus $15.22, or not 12, but 22, is a total of $125.21. And I'm just going to go ahead and check these two off for groceries and household. All right, so we have $125.21. And we need to write that number down in the weekly balance page for week 4 under cash envelopes. So we spent a total of $125 with 21 cents. So cash envelopes did start with $207.31. But because we added that gasoline money back, I do need to add a plus $39.70 here and a plus $39.70 here. And again, that's to make up for the gasoline money that never got charged to the credit card, so I never made the transfer, which means I still have that money to be used for something else. So this is how I'm gonna just put it back in the budget so that my account makes sense, because it never ended up balancing for $1,713.62. It actually balanced for the previous amount we had on my sticky note, which was the $1,753.32. So that's what the accounts still say. Okay, and as previously mentioned, for week 4, there were no bills that came out. So this starting amount of $163.08 is the same because, again, no bills came out. So $163.08 is the same. And then let me do the math for cash envelope. So we started with $207.31. Adding that gasoline back of $39.70 equals $247.01. Minus the $125.21 means I should have $121.80 remaining towards cash envelopes. And let's see if that's true. So if we take the $121.68 for gasoline plus the positive $73.15 equals $194.83, minus the $51.38 that we were over for groceries, minus the $6.37 we were over for my personal spending, and minus the $15.28 we were over for eating out, and we get $121.80. So we see the majority of that is gasoline money, so that's basically all gasoline money that's left over. Okay, and then for miscellaneous, we started off with $1,343.23, and that is mainly representing my sinking funds category. We did only have the 2 transactions of the $2.50 plus the $28.05. And just so you know, for self-care, I did just buy some toiletries. That might have been from H-E-B as well, but it also could have been from Target. So that totals $30.55 that was spent for this week. Okay, so that plus the $125.21 equals $155.76 were spent between cash envelopes and sinking funds, and both of those numbers were spent on the credit card. So I will need to do a full transfer of $155.76 from my main checking account number 1, which is what this tracks, my checking account number 1, transfer that to the credit card so that I can avoid any interest, any fees, anything like that, and just collect on my credit card rewards. So $155.76 is what I need to transfer. And let me do the math really quick to see where sinking fund stands. So $13.43 with 23 cents minus the $30.55 means I have a remaining of $1,312.68 in my sinking funds. All right, so I'm just going to check these 2 off because we will make that transfer number, and I'm gonna check these 2 off. Again, this will be in week 5, so we'll do that later. We're not including this number because it never came out. We're going to check off these 2 boxes. All right. And then we just have these last 4 days to check in my next upcoming video, and we'll track that down here, and that will be it for the month of January. So let me do my final total right here. So we have $17.13 with 62 cents plus $39.70 minus $155 with 76 cents equals $1,597.56, and let's make sure it equals this way. So we have $163.08 plus $121 with 80 cents plus $1,312.68, and that equals the same number, $15.97 with 56 cents. So that is my new account balance So $1,597 with 56 cents, and I'll put a confirmation in this video just to let you know it does balance after I make my transfer of $155.76. All right, so that is basically everything for today's video. Alrighty, so just double checking everything, and we checked off everything here, and all of this is up to date. So the only thing we have this only money we have to spend is out of the gasoline fund or my sinking fund. So that's it for this month. My electricity bill is actually due today, but it probably won't show up till tomorrow on the 30th because today's the 29th. And we just need to pay for this $181.75 and pay for these 2 subscriptions, and that's it. And then we'll come back, do a budget closeout, and wrap up the month. All right, so that is everything for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye.